Hello and welcome. Let's begin with our virtual housekeeping. Mute your mic when you're not speaking. Please have your video turned on at all times. If you want to be anonymous and keep your video off, you're more than welcome to do so. Please use your headset if possible, especially if you're in a crowded and noisy area. To ask a question, use raise hand button. Usually you will find this button on your Zoom control bar. Alternatively, you can use the chat box and ask your question as well. For high resolution of this video stream on Zoom, use the switch to shared content button on top left of your screen. With the experience that we had with Zoom, the legibility of text presented in the presentation is much clearer on a screen size of 12 inch or above. So we will appreciate to use, if you use the 12 inch or above screen size for a legible text which you would be able to read through. Hello and welcome to you all. My name is Vishal and this is our APMP session for a 15-minute session book club where we read, study the body of knowledge for APMP, and we are at session number 14 today. You all are welcome. Congratulations to you all who all are on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and as well as on Zoom to study along with us. So welcome to you all. We will just without further ado, we'll move into our session. So we have already covered the business development cycle. If these are the knowledge area per se. Understand business development is the cycle wherein we was the knowledge area where we actually discussed about how an organization starts from scratch or already has is in a known position in the marketplace and is trying to bring in new products or new services and so on and so forth. We discussed about good practices about the how to build business, do the business development, and it also is a very essential part of the APMP and the bidding process as well. The bidding does not start when the RFP is or RFQ it has been released, or in other terms, the tender has been released into the open market and people can bid for it. It's not then when the race starts. The race starts from the day the client has a pain area, has some which needs to be resolved, and they have a requirement of a solution. The race starts from there on. So it's the business development team or the managers in that team who would be approaching the possible client, and they will be creating a business case. We already read about the business case in last session. And what is this business case? It is a two-way document, okay, which helps the buyer, okay, to put forward the requirement, including the data of why this software or product or a building, whatever they want to build, is required. That is for the buyer. Now for the seller, now they also, even if they want to sell and they want to bid for this, there is an involvement of money here as well. And of course they also need to put forward this document to their stakeholders within the organization to tell them that should we bid or not bid. And that's a business case that is being developed, and we will be discussing this a bit more today. And both sides of the people on the both sides of the table who are releasing the RFP in the market, and the people who are actually accepting the RFP and bidding for it would be a part of, would be making use of this document. And it's in a very initial stage of the bid cycle. In very advanced stage, in very early stage, all these things happen. Let's take an example of a building that is required. Now, one of the client, they want to build up a hotel building, okay, and because they have seen potential, okay, in one of their locality, upcoming locality, very posh area, they see a potential, and perhaps they have the capital to do it. So they will build up a business case within their organization and give it to their management, and the management go ahead and says, okay, yes or no, or whatever, and they of course give this to their stakeholders within. That can be stakeholders, that can be of statutory requirement, that can be financial requirement, and so on and so forth. So that's the business development life cycle we read about how it has to be done. And APMP, mind you, does not say that you need to have the business development plan, which we read at that time, as per the APMP requirement, but it says, I mean, when I say you do not need to have a plan in word by word, in verbatim, as what APMP says, but it says you should have one business development plan otherwise, which is inclined and in line with your organization's goals, and of course how they want to move themselves from an unknown position to a known position in the market. Okay, so today we are at the session of focus on the customer, and we have already done 3 sub chapters, if you may say, or subtopics, if you may say. We have seen compliance and responsiveness. So compliance is more or less the is compliance to what the RFP says, okay, and responsiveness is how responsive there when an RFP is written and given out. My bad. There are hidden messages, I mean, which the client might not be able to write in, but since you have a connect with the client before they were even putting this bid out, you know what their pain areas are, and if those pain areas are not actually spelled out in verbatim, explicitly, you know this is their problem. So there is where your responsiveness of your bid comes into place. You can mention those solutions that you're going to give to your client, and of course how the strength of your organization would be able to help their organization, your client's organization, to come over these problems or the pain areas. So that is what we studied over there. And then we talked about the customer analysis and competitor intelligence. Of course, if we are venturing out as an organization, let's say my organization is venturing out to find new customers, my competitors would also be there. So I need to know the strengths of my competitor as well. Some competitors simply want to bid, even if it is not their core strength. They will bid just to have a market capture. So like mass selling, they want to just do mass selling. This is not an across the counter selling, but it is even in a bid, they want to bid in such a way their capital is good, but they want to move the organization. That's the management who has defined in their business plan. In the first section, in the first knowledge area, we saw that the company wants to move itself from an unknown position to a known position and a market leader. So they would like to do that. They would like to capture it. They want to make sure that if it's a household product, they want to make sure that every household has this product, and as much as possible. So that's the analysis of your competitor intelligence. You need to know about your competitors. Are there any incumbents who are already there with your client when you're there finding the RFPs. That is one way of it. Then the customer analysis. Maybe the customer in his RFP, his or her RFP are asking for the world. But we know from the market data that we have and from the informal or formal channels that they actually cannot finance this kind of project. There you will come to know that do we need to take this bid that seriously or not. So all these makes up a reason for a bid, no bid, okay, which we will be coming very soon to. And then your customer relation management systems. Now this system actually has, if you ask me, and we were discussing this last time as well, it has boiled down to a CRM software now, okay. But the human touch, wherein a person, a sales engineer who has been, or a salesman who has gone into the field and has built up a relation with the other organization, those people are actually part of the relationship management. Maybe you at times, now in this management part, we also saw and we also read that it is not always the front end sales guys, the sales rep who are on the foot and going out there and actually meeting the customer. At times the sales engineer might require one of the solution heads in their organization to go and meet at informal or informal meetings with the client, so that the client gets the feedback that yes, this organization has the potential to do to solve my problem, okay, and take care of my pain areas, okay. And we have already seen, we've reached to the business development case, and we were looking at what this business development should do, okay. That is what we are going to read today. It should provide a formal summary of all the value propositions that you're giving, okay. It should prepare the business case. Now that's very important part. Of course, it's developing the business case, so it should provide a business case to the customer. Know when to use a business case. Now at times the customer or the person who is in a bigger organization where there is a chain of command, you might not want to use it at the entry level guy, your business case, because the entry level guy will not understand or may not have the may not be able to appreciate the kind of work that you have done and put into that business case. I might not know the bird's eye view or the overall view of the project that they want to do, okay. So it's up to you, and it's from you to know where and when and with whom you need to use this business case. And of course, manage the business case is also one of the part of it. That is the part of your developing your business case. Then comes to the how do you prepare it. You start aligning yourself, and I will hide myself from that. I can see that my camera, I'm blocking the camera of the slide. Give me just 1 sec. I will just go invisible. Okay, here you go. So business problem and opportunity, of course you need to understand that, then you need to document it, you need to mention about the benefits, and of course risk. Now this is on the both sides of the table, buyer as well as for the seller. Of course you will not give the same document to the seller and of course the buyer, but they will both have a different document, but they of business case. Then cost, including investment appraisal, okay. Likely technical solution. I mean, you will be giving scenarios like scenario 1. If it's a software, we can use, if they are looking for a software which they want overnight, or let's say if, 3 months development with the MVP minimum viable product, they want within 3 months. So you can talk about, let's say, no code, low code, just giving an example. Or if they want building to be built very fast, maybe they can do a prefab somewhere, okay. Just giving an example of both the industry. Then your time span, how much it's going to take, the overall time, and impact on the operations. Of course, when you're going to, as a buyer, when you're going to do the purchase, you need to look at what all operations, the different phases of the product that you're asking for, or the end product or software or a solution or the building that you're asking for, which part of your building, your company operations would be taking care of it. So as far as if it's let's say a real estate industry company, and they are building a new building, so they need to make sure that in their operation side, which is your which is their facility management team, they are aware of this project coming up, and they should be ready by the time the project is about to be handed over, because these guys are the one who will be operating it. And as far as the seller part of it is, they want to make sure in the construction industry that they want to make sure that they have those many engineers, they have those many laborers, and of course to build this building. Okay, and as far as the software industry is concerned, they want to make sure that they have programmers, testers, of course they have the machines as well, the computers as well, and of course they have those many infra with them. And of course at the last is the organization capability that you will be capitalizing on. Maybe you will give your previous references that how these products have been, similar products have been delivered before, and how your organization is able to deliver the project outcomes. Okay, and it turns same for the person on the buyer side. Okay, they also need to look at their organization capability, that would their sales team be able to sell these for a real estate industry, these apartments, or rent them out or not. And it works both the ways. Okay, so with that, I've just our session time has completed for today. You have been a very awesome audience, whosoever has joined today. Let me just see if there are any questions on Zoom. You can type in your questions if you like doing so. On Zoom, I don't have any questions. Let's see, Facebook, nothing, and on YouTube, nothing, and as well as on the LinkedIn. So thank you very much. You have been a very awesome audience. See you next week, same time. We will be studying focus on the customer knowledge area. Up until next time, stay safe. Goodbye.